hard? Why is this so hard? Ooh, that could be
Hey,
cool.
hey, Elise, what are you
Hey,
looking at?
I'm looking at amazing gifts for my mom's birthday. It's coming up, and I want to get her something amazing. So I'm looking through this magazine, and there's some really cool stuff in here. I think I might get her like a guitar, or like a van, or maybe a dog. She likes dogs.
Well,
So
Elise, those gifts sound awesome.
yeah,
I mean,
they are.
the dog especially. I love dogs. I'm sure your mom does too. But what? How are you going to pay for that? Those aren't cheap gifts.
I got it figured out. I have been saving up all the pennies that I've collected in the
Okay.
parking lot for like a year and a half.
Wow.
This thing is loaded. Listen to that. That's money right
Wow.
there.
Elise, I bet that is a ton of money. But I just don't think it's enough to buy a dog or a really
Come
cool guitar or
on.
anything like that.
Of course
I
it
I
is.
just think you should be focusing on something else, maybe something a little cheaper, maybe like a kazoo or a yo-yo or something like, somewhere in
Really?
that realm.
We're really going kazoo.
Yeah,
It's
just
just for my mom. She's the best, and I want to get her the best.
yeah, but it's not always about the gift that you give.
Of course it is. I mean, come on. You go to a birthday party. I mean, you don't take pictures at a birthday party without a giant stack of gifts right there. I mean, it's literally in every magazine. You see all the movies you see. Come on. It's all about celebrating with awesome gifts.
Yeah, but it's not about the gift that you give. It's about the person you're giving the gift to and celebrating them and just showing them how excited you are that they're here and they were born on that day.
I don't know about that.
All right. It's Bible story time with Ken.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, Ken, Parker is being boring because he's saying that the gifts that you give at a birthday party is all about the person or the heart or whatever you said and not about the actual gift. I mean, that can't be right.
Well, Elise, I think I would have to agree with Parker on this one, and I really think Jesus would agree with him as well.
That just seems so backwards of how it should be.
All right, well, let's actually see what Jesus had to say about it. So, today's Bible story, it's a story about Jesus and his disciples, and it's a story that we actually call the widow's offering or the widow's mite. Now, you might not really understand what is meant by that, the widow's mite, because that word mite, well, it's a word we don't use anymore today. But basically, a mite was a small copper or bronze coin that was the least valuable coin that was used during the time of Jesus. It would take 4 of these mites to actually equal 1 penny or 1 cent. All right, so with that background, let's dive into the story. And Parker and Elise are actually going to help me tell it. They're just going to play along at the appropriate time. Okay, so the story, we read about where things occur in the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 41. So Jesus, he's sitting near the temple, and he's sitting near this box where people would drop their offerings into the temple offering. Now, the offering was money that was given, and that money was used by the priest, to take care of their needs, but it was also used to take care of the temple. It's very similar to what we do today. We give money to this church, to our church. The offering that's given, or the money that's given to the church, is used to, pay the staff and to take care of the building, provides for these environments we have like Upstreet and Wombaland, and we also use it to help our community. Giving an offering is a really big part of worshiping God. It is for us today, and it was for them as well when they gave their offering at the temple. All right, so we have Jesus and his disciples, and Jesus is watching people give their money at the temple, dropping their money into the temple box. And so people came by and gave, the money they wanted to give. Now, there were some wealthy people who gave large sums of money, kind of like this woman. Wow, quite a lot. Or maybe this really rich guy. But then this poor widow came along and she dropped in just 2 small copper mites. Well, when Jesus saw her do that, he called his disciples to himself and he said, I tell you the truth. This poor widow has put more money into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on. So Jesus sees this poor woman give her little bit of money into the offering. But, I mean, why did he make a big deal of it? What was the big deal? I mean, there were wealthy people who put in a whole lot of money, and she put in something that was basically worthless. Well, here's the deal. You see, those rich people, they put in a lot of money, but they had a lot of money left over. They gave out of their wealth and they were still wealthy. But that widow, she put in those 2 small copper mites, and that was everything that she had to live on. So when you think about the sacrifice that she made, it was a huge deal. Her sacrifice was way bigger than all of those wealthy people. Because you see, she was trusting God to take care of her. She wasn't trusting her money. She didn't have a lot to give, but what she had, she gave it. All right, that's our story. Back to you guys.
Wow, Ken, that's amazing. What a great story.
That was awesome.
Can you imagine how hard it must be to just give God everything, to trust Him with your life? I mean, that makes getting my mom a birthday present easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, I mean, you could just get her a card with, the 2 of you drawn on it, maybe. Get her a flower from the front yard. I mean, it could be anything. What do you think you're going to get her?
I don't know. Depends on how much money I have in that piggy bank.
You know what? In the meantime, let's reveal the question.
That sounds like a great idea.
What?
Ha!
Was that even necessary?
That's always necessary.
You could have just pulled the cork out and they got the question.
It's not as much fun, and I had to keep it, in a safe place.
That was definitely not necessary.
It was necessary. What do you have to give?
Yeah, what do you have to give to God? Maybe it's, maybe it's money or time or service. It could be anything. Talk about that with your families, your friends, whoever's hanging out at your house right now. We'll see you next week on the Sunday
Funday
Show.